UChicago looks like a Gothic dream, stone spires, ivy shadows, and quiet courtyards, but it's also lectures that blur into midnight, problem sets that eat your weekend, and debates that somehow follow you to lunch. The prestige is real, so is the intensity. Welcome to Graduation Street. Today we're putting two powerhouses under the spotlight, Duke and the University of Chicago. Both are world-class and highly selective but wildly different in vibe, structure, and philosophy. We will break it all down. One-on-one, no fluff, just facts. So, let's get a few quick facts out of the way. Duke was founded in 1838 as a small Methodist college and found its permanent home in the small, leafy city of Durham, North Carolina, in 1892. The University of Chicago, meanwhile, was born in 1890 thanks to funding from oil magnate John Rockefeller. From day one, it was built differently, not to mimic the Ivy League, but to challenge it. As of 2025, Duke hosts about 16,000 students, while Chicago has around 18,000. Graduate students make up more than half of both universities, roughly 55% at Duke and 60% at UChicago. International students represent 20% at Duke and 25% at Chicago, with strong communities from China, India, South Korea, and Nigeria. Both universities present a multicultural atmosphere, with Duke's student body roughly 42% white, 23% Asian, 10% black, and 9% Hispanic, while the University of Chicago's is around 37% white, 25% Asian, 7% black, and 13% Hispanic. At both universities, small class engagement is a core value. Roughly 70% of Duke classes and about 65% of Chicago classes have fewer than 20 students, depending on the department. If you could design a campus straight out of a movie, it would look like Duke. Think sprawling forests, Gothic towers, and the iconic Duke Chapel rising above a sea of green. Durham's vibe is calm and collegiate, sitting right inside North Carolina's Research Triangle. A hub packed with biotech firms, research labs, and startups. Now picture the University of Chicago. Stone arches meet glass skyscrapers. Its Hyde Park neighborhood offers a blend of history and grit, a short train ride from downtown Chicago. Here, the hum of the city seeps into the classroom. You'll feel the buzz of a major metropolis just outside your dorm. Weather-wise, Duke offers mild winters and plenty of sunshine, while Chicago winters are brutal. Icy winds, snow, and endless gray skies. Both institutions are consistently among the world's best, but they dominate in different ways. In the QS World University Rankings 2025, Duke stands at number 61 globally, significantly lower than the University of Chicago at number 21. The Times Higher Education 2026 table places Duke at number 24 and Chicago at number 13, while the U.S. News Best Global Universities ranking does not see much to separate the two, placing Duke just after Chicago at 27. On academic reputation, QS ranks Chicago at number 17, with Duke well beaten at number 52. Chicago's academic prestige stems from its intellectual legacy. It's home to more than 100 Nobel laureates, many in economics, physics, and law. At Chicago, economics is legendary. Ranked number 4 globally by QS, it's the birthplace of modern economic thought. Law is another crown jewel, ranked number 11, while business at its Booth School sits at number 17 worldwide. Duke, though, shines in the sciences, public policy, medicine, and applied research, consistently ranking among the top 10 U.S. universities for research impact per faculty. It ranks number 7 in nursing, 16 in medicine, 47 in public policy, 50 in business, and 72 in computer science. Let's talk about getting in. For graduate international students, both schools are brutally selective but in different ways. Duke's overall acceptance rate sits around 5.9%, while Chicago's is even lower at about 5.2%. For specific graduate programs, Duke's Fuqua School of Business admits around 22% to its MBA program, while Chicago's Booth School of Business accepts roughly 25%. Duke Law accepts about 14%, while Chicago Law takes in a mere 11%. For engineering and computer science, Duke's Pratt School admits about 15%, higher than Chicago's computer science program, which is near 12%. So, while undergrad admission is brutal at both, graduate entry varies depending on the school, Chicago being more competitive for law and slightly easier for business. Generally, Duke tends to value leadership experience and global perspective, while Chicago looks for pure academic rigor and analytical strength. Now the big question, how much will this dream cost you? For 2025, graduate tuition averages between $60,000 and $75,000 per year at Duke, and a little more at Chicago in the $65,000 to $80,000 range. When you add living costs, the total annual budget lands around $84,000 at Duke and $88,000 at Chicago. Duke's MBA program charges $75,000 a year, while Chicago comes in at $80,000. Chicago Law is roughly $77,000, while Duke Law is at around $74,000. Engineering and computer science programs average $60,000, $70,000 a year at both universities. But, and this matters a lot, both schools are generous to international graduate students. At Duke, every PhD student in good standing gets 5 full years of support that covers everything. Full tuition worth about $62,000 per year for the first 3 years. Mandatory fees, health insurance, and a 12-month living stipend that currently sits at around $38,000, $40,000 per year depending on department. At Chicago, the funding game is just as strong, maybe even a level up in some fields. All PhD students are guaranteed full funding for at least 5 years, including tuition, fees, health insurance, and a minimum living stipend of $45,000 a year for 2024-25. Some departments, like the social sciences or biosciences, bump that up to about $46,000 for 2025-26, plus a relocation grant of around $1,000 when you start. As for master's students, both universities keep it flexible. You'll find research and teaching assistantships, merit-based fellowships, and external scholarships that can knock a serious chunk off your tuition. At UChicago, for example, over 2/3 of Harris School Master's students get merit awards, and at Duke, many programs in engineering, public policy, and business offer assistantships or partial tuition waivers tied to research work. In short, the sticker price looks scary, but international students with strong academic records can often secure substantial financial aid. Duke offers guaranteed housing for first-year graduate students, with on-campus apartments and family housing options that are reasonably priced. Durham's cost of living is about 30% lower than most U.S. metro areas. Groceries, transport, and rent are manageable even on a graduate stipend. Chicago, while urban and vibrant, is more expensive. Hyde Park offers modern student housing, but rent can stretch budgets. But there is a trade-off. You're living in one of the most globally connected cities in the U.S., surrounded by opportunity. Public transport in Chicago is excellent. Trains, buses, and city bikes everywhere, while most Duke students rely on walking, shuttles, or cars. Duke leans mentor-heavy and collaborative. It emphasizes close faculty-student relationships. Think mentorship-driven seminars and project-based learning, particularly in its professional and research-focused graduate programs. On the other hand, Chicago leans toward a more research-intensive and discussion-heavy model. Its graduate programs often operate through small cohorts or lab groups rather than traditional class sizes, especially in economics, public policy, and data science. Outside class, Duke's energy is classic college spirit, community-driven, collaborative, and slightly sporty. The famous Cameron Crazies and the annual Duke-UNC basketball rivalry give graduate students a social life that feels alive year-round. Many students, however, describe Duke as socially narrow and Greek life heavy, and dominated by a party scene that can feel exclusionary if you're not into that culture. Others call the campus snobby and small, with Durham and Duke feeling like two separate worlds that barely interact. UChicago, meanwhile, is academic intensity incarnate. It's the kind of place where your classmates casually quote Foucault and Friedman over lunch. The environment is intellectually demanding, but for many graduate students that's the appeal. It's a place that pushes your thinking beyond limits. Both universities are diverse and globally connected, but Duke leans warm and social. Chicago leans deep and cerebral. The 2025 QS World Rankings place Duke at number 86 on employer reputation, well behind UChicago at 29. Within 3 months of graduation, 95% of Duke and 96% of Chicago graduates report employment or further study. Median starting salaries are around $85,000 for Duke graduates and $90,000 for Chicago graduates. MBA graduates from both schools command base salaries around $175,000, while Chicago law graduates lead the nation with starting medians of $215,000. Duke's ties to health, technology, and consulting industries, especially in the East Coast and Southeast, make it a powerhouse for applied careers. Chicago's location opens doors in finance, law, economics, and global research networks. For international graduate students, both schools offer strong OPT and CPT support, dedicated career services, and alumni connections in every major city worldwide. At Duke, the legendary K-ville tradition turns basketball fandom into a rite of passage. Students literally camp for weeks to earn tickets for the Duke-UNC game. It's wild, exhausting, and unites the campus like nothing else. At Chicago, you get something completely different: the Scav Hunt, a 4-day intellectual marathon of absurd, creative, and brilliant challenges. It lasts 4 days, with over-the-top challenges like building hovercrafts and finding obscure 1930s artifacts. Let's wrap it up now. Both Duke and the University of Chicago are exceptional, but they speak to different kinds of ambition. Duke is collaborative, beautiful, and a bit more balanced lifestyle-wise. If you crave rigor, urban intellect, and deep academic prestige, the University of Chicago is your arena. Both schools are top-notch. The real question is, which one matches your rhythm, your goals, and your story? And why? Tell us in the comments below, and check out our next face-off: Harvard University versus Stanford, a rivalry that defines prestige. Thanks for watching Graduation Street.